Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. On this channel, we discuss day-to-day problems people face in their lives. Let's start with the video. I, 27 female, am the only child of an only child, my mom, and the son of a single woman, my dad. We are firmly middle class. When I was 8, my aunt, her husband, and my nana were in a fatal car accident. As a result, my cousins, 6 male, a triplet, were taken in by my parents. Up until then, my mom was a teacher, but with the kids and all they needed, intensive therapy and constant reassurance, she quit her job to be a stay-at-home mom. My dad got a small inheritance from my nana that he used to pay the house off. As for my aunt's life insurance and her husband's were split into 3 and put into college funds for my cousins. From ages 8 to 13, my parents were too focused on my cousins that they forgot that they had a daughter, and the money was so tight that I had to quit all of my hobbies because my cousins' hobbies were expensive and they needed to make sure that they maintained the same standard of living for them. At 13, my maternal grandparents sat me down. They said that my parents drained my college fund and that they were threatened by my parents going no contact to not tell me, but that I was old enough to keep the secret. They also said that they will be giving me what they could when I go to college. I guess that was it for me. I stopped seeing my parents as anything more than an egg and sperm donor. Fast forward to when my cousins started going to college, and I guess my parents remembered that they had a kid, but I wasn't interested in having a relationship with them beyond an occasional phone call. Now I'm about to get married. I asked my grandpa to walk me down the aisle and my grandma to take on the traditional mother of the bride role for me. Then, because I'm direct like that, I handed my parents their invites in person and told them that they were welcome only as guests or not at all. They got angry, and when they asked, I just laid it out on them. Now they're trying to apologize, but it's a little too late for me. My cousins contacted me, trying to make me take it back, offered me what was left in their college funds, since they didn't know I didn't have one to make it fair. I refused, of course. It's more the emotional neglect that hurts, not the money. But a friend said that I was too harsh, that I should forgive and forget. So am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Your parents are lucky you invited them. I hope you can have separate relationships with your cousins though. Oh honey, I'm so sorry. This should have never happened to you. But I'm so glad you have your grandparents. I'm happy you're honoring them on your day. Congrats on your upcoming wedding. I hope it's a beautiful day. I do have to add, your cousins didn't know, so maybe at some point you won't be mad at them, even if you are. We do have a relationship. I never held it against them and they're genuinely nice men. Thank you for the congratulations, and I don't hold it against my cousins. They were actually going to be a part of the wedding, but after some discussion, they preferred not to smooth things with the parents. Not the a-hole. It was really nice of your cousins to offer to make things fair, but it's not on them. They couldn't control what happened to them or how your parents treated them. That was your parents' job. It's understandable that they prioritized your cousins at first to make sure they were settled and recovering. But lying to you about your college fund and using it behind your back was crappy, to be honest. Ultimately, they have to live with it, as it's your wedding and your choice. I don't know why your parents are complaining. They chose the cousins, so the cousins can have them do their weddings. Your maternal grandparents are the MVPs in this. It's one thing to make sure you're fair to adopted kids, but they went too damn far in the other direction by throwing you under the bus. Did either or both parents get off being told how saintly they were for doing this for your orphaned cousins? Because even though it might be a bit early for social media, kudos and likes back then, some of the same dynamics might apply. Honestly, I don't even care about the college fund. It was the lack of care making me give up my bedroom, refusing me therapy because I didn't need it, not like your cousins. Actually, it was because of my father's background. For a few years, he and my aunt were foster kids before Nana adopted them, and he didn't want my cousins to feel like he and his sister did. I just seemed to have been forgotten in the process. Not the a-hole. It's a crappy situation, and while I can't completely hate your parents, perhaps similar to the sentiment your friends have, I think that is in large part due to my own biases of not having grown up in such a situation. In other words, I don't think I have the right to judge this as actually being harsh because I cannot realistically imagine what it's like having your parents basically forget you since the age of 8. That being said, I think regardless of your relationship with your parents moving forward, your grandparents seem to really care about you, and your wedding day is your day. Have those that you care most about fill the roles you wish for them to fill. As again, this can never be repeated enough on this subreddit. It is your day. At least your cousins seem pretty decent. If I had any advice, it would be to try and assure them that they personally didn't do anything wrong. Perhaps this is hard to do due to misplaced resentment over the years and or perhaps said concern isn't warranted, i.e. maybe they aren't actually the kindest. But from what you said, I feel bad for them too. Personally, I would probably feel guilty thinking that the love my aunt and uncle showed me after my own parents died came at the expense of my cousin and that I'm to blame for their upbringing. That being said, in such a scenario, this would be your parents' fault, not theirs. Again, though, can't imagine being in that situation, so it's easy to say this as someone looking at it as a few snapshots in time. Whether or not that feeling would remain if dragged out over the span of years, which I cannot imagine, is another story altogether, so I'll stop rambling now. Either way, congratulations on getting married. I don't hate my parents. I resent them and see them as just acquaintances and not family. As for my cousins, they're wonderful. They always treated me as their fourth twin. Not as a cousin. We played together and they have my back. They honestly didn't notice because by the time they started maturing, I was already working and independent. Also, I never complained to them. They are very distressed but are trying to bridge the gap between me and my parents without trampling all over my boundaries. Next story. Me, 25 female, and my sister, 25 female, were very close when we were young, but things changed when our father passed away and our mother had to raise us alone. She, according to me, has always favored my sister over me. It wasn't blatant favoritism. She still cared for me and loved me, but my sister was allowed to go to school dances, dye her hair, wear expensive makeup, buy expensive dresses, things that I wasn't allowed to do. My sister changed, and during middle school, she became the popular girl while I was the nerd. She often ridiculed me during school, and I complained to my mother about this. She comforted me, but never really did anything about the situation. All of this built up resentment for my sister inside me. Every day when I went to school, I had to face her bullying. However, I convinced myself that what she was doing right now didn't matter, that I would end up happier in life because I worked way harder than she did and would end up successful. I got into my dream college after school and my mother was really happy for me, but at the same time, my sister had failed in some of her subjects and had to repeat the year, so my mom didn't want to go out for dinner to celebrate since it would upset my sister. Fast forward to a couple of years and my sister is getting married to a very rich man. I was very happy for her and attended her wedding. I had a job and was doing pretty good for myself financially, but was under a lot of stress due to high working hours. While I was talking to my sister, she said to me and my friends how sad it must be for me to have worked so hard for all those years and still be so unhappy with my life while she's enjoying hers. She should have told me I should have worked smart like her instead of working hard. I got very angry at her and told her that failing school and then deciding to drop out of college was not working smart and that not everyone was as lucky as her to be born with a pretty face and get married to a rich guy they met on Tinder, even though she herself was a loser, and after that, I left. Later, I got a call from my mom telling me that my sister started crying after what I said to her and that I ruined my sister's special day due to my jealousy. She told me not to show my face to her before I was ready to apologize. What my mom said was definitely true. My mom's subtle favoritism towards her popularity in school, the fact that she has a husband and I'm lonely, and the fact that I have had to work hard all my life and still work 12 hours a day to earn money while she gets served everything on a silver platter while sitting at home has made me very jealous of her. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Your sister rubbing her success in your face while demeaning your hard work is horrible. And like the previous comment said, she will likely be replaced once her hubby finds the next pretty face, especially if she has the personality and entitlement you describe. Hopping onto the top comment to suggest that you consider therapy. You admit that you're jealous and lonely, and you clearly have resentment towards your family due to bullying and neglect. Now it's time to live your life. Living well is the best revenge, so see if there are any avenues to help you with your issues so that all those bad moments from the past don't intrude on the life you're building for yourself now. Not the a-hole. As she's shown you, she is a selfish, mean, and self-centered woman. No, she hasn't had to work hard for anything and got by on her looks. Looks fade, you know. A younger woman could come along and replace her with her rich husband that she got with those looks. As for you, adversity builds character, empathy, hardiness, self-sufficiency, and a whole lot of other things. Be proud of what you have accomplished and let go of the resentment. This is hurting no one but you. I agree, not the a-hole. I don't really agree with that mindset though, or the mindset of the original poster in her younger years. I've been there, thought my intellect and work ethic would somehow be balanced in the grand scheme of things, that karma had to befall those who bullied me or made it through life without trying. It's not true. The universe is an indifferent place. Sometimes that karma smiting blow hits those we think deserve it. Most of the time it doesn't. It took me a while to realize that hoping or waiting on others' failure is a useless exercise. I can only really control myself, and any happiness I find for myself dwarfs the disappointment or pleasure I would get from that karma anyways. So I guess I'd ask original poster to seek some therapy. Love yourself because you know that you're amazing. Take care of yourself. Those long shifts can be difficult. Cut the dead weight. It's only holding you back from being happy. Not the a-hole. Also, people talking about how her life is going to end up being worse than yours are seriously missing the point. Maybe she will get dropped like hot garbage in a few years, but maybe not. Maybe she's going to continue on being horrible and happy and successful. That doesn't have to have anything to do with you. No matter where your lives go or how you both feel, neither of you can lose because it's not a competition, no matter how much she tries to make it one. Life isn't something to win. My advice is to try to stop measuring yourself against her. The things that she's achieved or gained don't mean anything about you. If you're better than her, if you can rub in how much happier you are than her and how she's the failure, not you, would you really be happy? Or is it that still hurt and rejection and anger over how she and your mother have treated you? I think you're still looking for the moment where your family finally realizes that they hurt you and they were wrong and they're sorry. The cinematic moment where they beg for your forgiveness and you get to choose whether you forgive them. I want that too. I think it's natural to want that. But it's important to realize that no matter how successful you are, you'll most likely never have that, and that's okay. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. You don't need to be better than anyone. This is the perfect opportunity to let it all go. Let this awful soul-sucking relationship, the dynamic between your sister and your mother and you, just die. I can't speak for you or what you want or what you think. This is just my perception of it. I can't know everything about you or your relationship with your family from a Reddit post. If you want to keep the relationship, that's your decision, but it will probably never stop being a competition that you will lose. And I'm sorry for that. You deserve better than that. Ask yourself, is having nothing really worse than having them? There's no wrong answer. My last thought. I really think you should look into therapy. I'm a stranger on the internet with no certifications. I can't really help you, but I think you could use it and you deserve it. Next story. Hello. I recently proposed to my long-term girlfriend of 5 years. My family tried to ruin it for me multiple times though, but I got through with this and now we're happily engaged. So backstory. Once I announced to my family that I'm planning to propose to my girlfriend in the upcoming months, they were all very excited as they adore my girlfriend and want us to spend our life together. But I instantly regretted telling them because they try to force me to do things their way. First of all, I didn't want a public proposal. My girlfriend suffers from social anxiety and she's expressed to me in the past that she wouldn't feel okay with a public proposal or a surprise from family and friends. She said such a thing would totally ruin the proposal for her and she wouldn't be able to enjoy the moment. She prefers a more intimate moment between us two. And I respected that, and that's how I plan to propose. She's also slightly allergic to many kinds of flowers, so flowers would not be in the picture. My family refused to accept that and said they were going to plan a surprise party and swore that my girlfriend would love this and I'll be wrong not to listen to them. I explained to them multiple times that I know my girlfriend and her wishes and comfort better than they do, so I know better what she would prefer. They insisted I'm a man and I know nothing about what women want. They kept insisting and insisting to the point they'd get in fights with me if I didn't accept their advice. The next day, the engagement ring was ready. My dad went to pick it up because the jeweler is right next to his job, and he brought the ring home. I saw it and it was perfect. I decided to propose to my girlfriend 1 week after I got the ring and decided not to tell anyone so I'd avoid unexpected and unwanted surprises from my family. I proposed the way I knew she'd love, and once we headed back to my parents' house and announced it, my parents and siblings, instead of being happy and congratulated, started cursing me out for keeping it a secret and started talking crap about me to my girlfriend about how they planned a perfect engagement party for her and how I'm crappy for not getting her flowers as well. My girlfriend felt very uncomfortable and they totally ruined her day because she was so excited to show off the ring and was faced with that. My parents and siblings keep calling me the a-hole and how I should be ashamed. I hid this from them and they felt excluded as my family. My mom's sister found out and also said I'm the a-hole for not including my family in such a big moment because I owe my life to them and I should be ashamed of what I did and how my girlfriend is probably also ashamed of me. My girlfriend said I did the right thing and I shouldn't listen to them, but now I feel guilty I hid it from them because of the drama and how it ended up making my girlfriend feel uncomfortable. Not the a-hole. Seriously, it's not their proposal to give and you aren't proposing to them. Their opinion doesn't matter at all. Suggestions like she might like X would be fine, but demanding you propose a certain way is far from okay. I wouldn't be telling them anything either. You tried multiple times to establish a boundary and tell them your girlfriend's boundaries and they just did not care. That's on them. After that, I wouldn't even dream telling them about wedding plans. The idea that men know nothing about what women want simply isn't true. Your girlfriend, now fiance, literally told you what you wanted and didn't want in a proposal. Your family refused to listen to you when you told them that. Do they think they know her better than you? I also hate public proposals. I find them silly and tacky, and it often puts pressure on the woman, even if the couple has talked about marriage before. And given how intrusive your family is about demanding a public proposal, I can't imagine how awful they're going to be when it comes to planning the wedding. Is eloping an option or threatening to elope if your family doesn't get over their snit about not being part of what should be an intimate moment? You gave your girlfriend the private, intimate proposal she wanted. Now it's time to plan the wedding and life you both want, not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. This is a pretty clear one in my opinion. You were proposing to your girlfriend, not your mom, dad, siblings, or aunts. They get zero say in this unless you specifically ask for their advice or help. Be mindful of their behavior. They will likely try to impose their will on your wedding, which, given your comments about her anxiety, will already be a stressful event for your fiancé and potentially other major life events.